Mr. and Miss Chinatown Philippines 2019.
Wala pala.
Matibili ka na.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Joshua Benziam, 19 years old, and I'm from De La Salle University.
All right, our first male candidate, Benzi. All right, let's go here. All right, Benzi, how are you doing today? Nervous? No more? Awesome. That's great. All right. So we heard that you were part of the Junior Philippine National Team. Can you tell us more about it, and how do you relate this to your advocacy?
Actually, the best part about being part of the Junior Philippine National Team is you have a great sense of patriotism. And being an athlete, it's not easy. You learn the word commitment and grit. So despite having a lot of commitments in life, you have academics, and you have other things going on in your life, you have to stay committed and to achieve your goals.
Benzi, can you state to us your advocacy?
Actually, my advocacy is building bridges to Noy Chinoy. There's a misconception with my advocacy that it focuses on being a student athlete. Actually, my advocacy focuses on swimming as a life skill, and swimming as a life skill for individuals who lack swimming skills to be able to learn and save people.
That's great, well said. All right, now let's move on to your fun fact. All right, I heard that to the ladies out there, most especially, Benzi is a self-confessed NGSB, or no girlfriend since birth. So now, I'm sure that I'm sure everyone wants to know why. Can you tell us about this?
I'm just waiting for the right girl out there, but at this stage of my life, I'm just focusing on swimming and my school, and of course, Mr. Chinatown.
All right, awesome answer. Now, friends from the press, the floor is now yours. If you have any questions, Louis will be going around to take your questions.
Do you have any questions from the press? All right.
How would you teach someone who's afraid of the water? Teach someone to swim who's afraid of the water?
Actually, I was also afraid of the water as a kid, but I have teammates who are already willing to help me teach these individuals, rather it be youth or adults, because we all know that swimming is a life skill, obviously, because actually in the Philippines, drowning and lack of knowledge is the third highest rate of death in the Philippines.
So how would you teach? So how would you teach someone to swim if the person is afraid of water?
I'm very hands-on with teaching because I myself, I teach my aunts, I teach my sisters, and they always tell me they're afraid of swimming, they might drown, but I always just tell them that trust me and don't be against the flow. Go with the flow of the water, because the more you go against it, the more you're gonna drown. So you just have to trust it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Benzi.
All right, we're good once again. Our first male candidate, Benzi.
Benzi here. Okay na.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gasdes. I'm 24 years old and I graduated from Ateneo de Manila University.
All right, Giles, our second male candidate. Now, can you tell us about your advocacy?
So my advocacy focuses on mental health, specifically depression and anxiety. And I made this my advocacy because I feel like it's something that's relevant, that's not often talked about, or people don't want to talk about it. And it's something that affects a lot of people, their personal life, their well-being. And part of the problem is they don't feel like they can talk about what they're going through to other people because they'll be judged or because they'll be criticized. So my advocacy is called Brighter Days. It's a project that involves events where people can gather and talk about what they're going through with other people who are going through the same thing. And we will have performers there, musical performances, because music has been known to help ease your mood. And the second part revolves around helping people cope with what they're going through art or whatever means of self-expression.
All right, awesome. Can you tell us what you think the greater impact of your advocacy can be for the society?
What I feel like the impact would be is that it would give people a platform to speak about their experiences without being judged. And I think that's relevant because people need to know that this is a real thing and it's not a joke.
All right, thank you so much. Now, before that, we will move on to your fun fact. So we learned that you're a total performer and you're very much multi-talented. Can you tell us more about that?
I just like performing, that's it. I really enjoy music. So at a very early age, I started learning guitar, bass, singing, dancing, whatever I could do that stimulates my creativity.
Thank you very much, guys. Now we will be taking questions from the members of the press. Louis?
All right, we have one.
Guys, if that's your advocacy, would you say that you're a good judge of character? And if you are, how do you tell if someone needs help or not?
I feel like I can't be the judge of how someone feels because that's very internal. So I think people know it in themselves if they're really going through something, and we can't put them down just because we think, oh, you're not really going through much, it's all in your head. Because a lot of things that happen in your head can affect your daily life.
Thank you. One question na lang po.
You have another question right
Okay.
here.
Guys, you speak in English and Chinese because you introduced yourself earlier. But how do you feel about the Filipino language? How often do you use it?
Madalas naman. Madalas naman na nagpipilipino, marunong ako mag-aral ako sa Xavier, tinuruan kami mag-Filipino. Sa Colegio, tinuruan rin kami mag-Filipino. So, hindi lang siya first language ko. That's why I'm more comfortable speaking English. Because the people around me also speak English. But when I talk to other people who speak to me in Filipino, nakausapin ko rin sila ng Filipino.
That's good. So at home you use English? You speak
English,
English?
Filipino, Chinese.
One.
There you have it. Thank you so much, members of the press. All right. Our second male candidate, ladies and gentlemen, Giles De Jesus.
Thank you.
Here.
My name is Russell T, 22 years old, and I graduated from the Ateneo de Manila University.
There we have it, our third male candidate, Russell T. Now, Russell, what is your advocacy coming into this pageant?
Thank you so much for the question. My advocacy actually is a project called Project Eat Smart. What I do is I'm a fitness coach. I've worked with over 500 people change their lives and take charge of their health. Project Eat Smart actually aims at educating people and empowering them with taking charge of the food that they eat. In the Chinese culture, we actually love eating siopao, siomai, and today with the fast-paced lifestyle, everyone wants to eat on-the-go food. But the biggest problem there is people neglect their health. And given all these preservatives and given all the sugar that people are consuming, what my advocacy aims to do is to really help people take charge of their lives through food.
There we have it. Of course, health is wealth. Now, we also heard, Russell, that you have a very interesting mantra in life. Will you please share that with us?
My mantra in life is that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. And it holds a very personal story in my heart. Growing up, I was always compared to my older brother. My older brother was always the first honor kid. He was always the overachiever, and he would just exert little effort and get all the awards. Meanwhile, I wasn't really the smart kid. I was the one always being compared to. My mom would always get mad at me because I wouldn't get first honors and I wouldn't get the awards or these declaration contests. I wouldn't be able to join them because I was so nervous as a kid. And it just pushed me to really strive, to just keep going, to get started and prevent myself from overthinking. Because where I am now today is because I've been growing. I've been pushing myself. I just take a leap of faith and just keep going and learning through my experiences.
Very inspiring. Russell, how do you think that you can relate that mantra to this pageant?
What I bring to this pageant would be my experiences. I do not personally believe that I'm better than people, but given my experiences in life, I believe that I have something to impart to people. I really want to inspire people and empower them the same way I've inspired my own life, through my own experiences, through the background that I've had.
Well put. All right, now we are going to take questions from the press.
Questions from the press. We got one here.
Hi Russell, I'm Adam Hinata from Sash Factor. Since you mentioned that your advocacy revolves around food, so if you could describe yourself as a food, what would it be and why?
Thank you for the question, Adam. Personally, I love eating chicken wings, and I would describe myself as chicken wing because I come in many flavors. I can be zesty, I can be lemony, I can be spicy, I can be hot, I can be just mild. And this correlates to all of my experiences in life. I play around with what I have, and I see, depending on the situation, how I would present myself. And chicken wings, personally, not really the healthiest food, but it's something I love eating. It's a reminder for me to just really enjoy life, just be who I am today, and just be in the present.
All right. Any other questions from the press? All right.
Hello, Russell. You have a very interesting advocacy. So my question is, if your chicken wings, how do you make that healthier? Kasi para sa mga like Filipino moms, gano'n.
Personally, I would advocate grilling or pan frying. I wouldn't really advocate deep frying food because it contains a lot of the unhealthy fat that really clogs our arteries. But pan frying, going for chicken in masala is good. It's a great way for us to still be able to enjoy the taste, the flavor at the same time, without really having to go through the struggle of depriving ourselves and restricting ourselves with our favorite foods.
Thank you very much, members of the press. Once again, the male candidate number 3, Russell T.
You, Russell. One more. One more.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Waldron Tofik Lee, 24 years old from Ateneo de Manila and Harvard University.
There you have it, male candidate number 4. All right, Waldron. So I heard that you are an athlete. What sports are you inclined to? And is sport also related to your advocacy?
Well, sport isn't exactly related to my advocacy, but it is within the health category. I would say that my sports are swimming, Muay Thai, and Taekwondo.
Can you now tell us about your advocacy?
My advocacy is on malnutrition, specifically targeted on child malnutrition because of the dire situation we are in right now about it. I firmly believe that it's a social issue that we need to address as soon as we can, given the fact that currently 70 million children are actually affected by this. And if we bring it down to the local scene, 200,000 Filipino children are also affected. And not to mention that with the long-term effects of lacking in nutritious food, it will only beget itself. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, I heard that you also represented the country in the UN Youth Assembly. Can you share with us your experiences?
Yes, I was a delegate to the United Nations Youth Assembly 20th edition. I represent the country there as a advocate towards malnutrition, which is why I chose that as my advocacy due to my prior experience on it. What I did there was I got to mingle and meet, as well as network with various different people from different age groups, different ethnicities, different backgrounds. So what that provided me is a better sense of the world. Learning about my advocacy as well from other people. That's how I was able to choose and focus and zero in what I wanted to do.
very much, Waldron. Now it's time for the members of the press to ask you questions. Anyone?
Questions?
Hi, Waldron. You studied judgment and decision making and systems thinking at Harvard University. How can you strike a balance between what you learned and practical thinking?
Thank you for that question, Tito Norman. The thing about judgment and decision making, as well as systems thinking, it's a very abstract form of thought. The way I see it, it's really based on leadership and how you see your personal growth. It's a very difficult thing to add in a sense of concrete example, but it was able to solidify my own persona as a leader, and that will only begin and trickle down towards my every action. So if I were to have to answer or concrete, is what I abide by day-to-day life. Thank you.
Hello.
Do you have more questions? All right. There you have Mr. Chinatown candidate number 4, Waldron Lee.
Here. Here. Here.
Ano yung sinasabi mo?
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat, mga kapamilya, kapatid at kapuso. Ako si Jeremiah Tomas, 21 anyos mula sa Universidad ng Pilipinas. You can also call me Mang Tomas.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 5, Jeremiah, we learned that you are a student leader and a counselor of UPE USC. Now, is your advocacy related to education?
I would say it's kind of related to education because my advocacy is called Likhang Bayan. What I mean by Likhang Bayan is social entrepreneur, social innovation type of platform for Filipino craftsmen and Filipino laborers to be able to connect with the Chinese Filipino community. What do I mean by that? So, what we were planning was partnering with the Federation, especially with the Chinese ingenuity and the resources and the experience that the Chinese community has. The plan is to be able to partner up with these local municipalities, local craftsmen, to be able to give them a livelihood that hopefully would increase our industries here in the Philippines. So, when we talk about education, it's siguro, ano siya, it comes both ways because you learn from them and you learn from them as well.
Beautiful advocacy. All right, right now, Jeremiah, we move on to our fun fact. We heard that you love to sing as well, so can you treat us to a sample of your singing?
So, sabihin ko sana na abangan nyo na lang sa talent, pero siguro short, medyo old-fashioned kasi po. Tayo ay matanda na, sana'y di tayo magbago.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm sure that a lot of members of the press would like to ask you questions now.
Question.
Any questions from the press?
Sige.
Hi Jeremiah, you're a member of the university organization, right? By the way, I'm Amir from Sociology. So my question would be, what have you accomplished so far in our university organization?
So, being part of the University Student Council, what I do advocate is all through the same. So, we've been talking to the university in terms of developing the entrepreneurial spirit in UP. Kasi kadalasan sa UP, yung mga tao nagtatrabaho, tapos natuturuan sila ng empleyado. Walang masama to. But then, we'd want to have more industries that would trickle down to the entire country. So, yun yung isa sa mga nadala natin sa university.
Thank you very much. Our Mr. Chinatown candidate number 5.
Here to your right. Hindi, picture lang. One.
One more. Here. Jeremiah, here.
Here. Here.
大家下午好，我叫许生发，今年19岁， Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dave Audrey. I'm 19 years old from UST.
Thank you very much, our Mr. Chinatown candidate number 6. And now, Dave, it says here that you have a sweet spot for animals. Can you share with us your story about being an animal lover? And is this in any way related to your advocacy?
So, if anyone of you here want to invite me to rescue or appreciate the animals, just invite me. I'm ready to go. I have a lot of pets at home myself. I have 7 dogs. Recently, one passed away, and I'm sad about it. Now I have 2 new reptiles. Now my advocacy is not much related to my interest in animals, but it can be related with the other candidates' advocacy. But I can show love to the environment, same as I can show love to the communities here in the Philippines.
Can you quickly tell us about your advocacy, please?
So my advocacy is called Building Bridges Through Mixed Martial Arts, or it is called Project Chinoy. I'm a martial artist ever since I was young, and I plan to execute this advocacy through mixed martial arts community, because I know that in that community we can build relationships in sports, specifically martial arts. Now there are a lot of conflicts between China and the Philippines here now in the present. So what I would do as an ambassador is to connect Filipino and Chinese community through mixed martial arts.
Okay, fun fact, we heard that you love hanging out with people older than you. So can you tell us why this is?
Because when I'm around older people, I get to learn a lot of things. I can adopt their
Bakit pag
skills,
older
and I
ikaw
can
tinatapik?
improve myself.
Pag older.
The co-candidates here are my Achis and Ayas, and the youngest in the candidates. So
Bumawi.
from 2 months ago when I joined this pageant, I've learned a lot from
19 is definitely very young. And thank you, Dave. Now it's time for the question from the members of the press.
Dave, walang sound, Dave. Hello. Hello, yes. Dave, as a mixed martial artist, what discipline have you learned from that sport that you apply to your daily living as a 19-year-old?
So discipline, that's a really good topic. Thank you for that question, Now, I practice discipline every day in my life. Doing good, respecting other people as I've learned from mixed martial arts, and I get to practice my interpersonal skills. So I can say that mixed martial arts can really develop a person as it developed me.
All right, our Mr. Chinatown candidate number 6, Dave. Thank you so much, Dave.
Dave, you're here.
Good afternoon, everyone. 大家好，我叫罗伟贤. So my name is Aaron Ho, 22 years old. I graduated from the Ateneo de Manila University.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 7. Hi, Aaron. There you go. All right. So, what is your advocacy? Can you quickly tell us what your advocacy is?
So my advocacy is called Solid Foundation. I have a sweet spot for leadership development, as when I started college, I was really not the active type. And then eventually, after joining organizations and various leadership seminars, I became an advocate of giving opportunities back to the community. And so I'm planning to build like opportunities for high school students, public or private students, and partner up with organizations like YCD. YCD is the Youth Southeast Asian Leadership Initiative from the US Embassy, to give them kind of like an international opportunity to go outside of their comfort zones.
According to your profile, you attended a conference in Harvard for 2 weeks, and you also went to China for a conference as well. How was it to be the representative of the Philippines to talk about international relations?
Well, first for Harvard, that was actually one of the best experiences I've had. Can I just pull this? Yeah. So, one thing that I've learned from that is you're not alone, right? So when I went to Harvard, I didn't know anyone that would be coming from the Philippines. And then eventually I had a family there. And it just grew on me that, you know, you would have to be able express yourself in a way that you wouldn't hurt other cultures, but then at the same time, know your own culture so that you'll be able to share it to other people as well. And that goes the same for China.
Thank you for sharing with us your experiences. Now it's time for the Q&A from the media.
Hello, my name is Tita Lavinia from Titas of Pageantry. And nowadays, when you join pageants, the most common term that we get to hear is about advocacy, advocacy, advocacy. Could there be an instance wherein someone could be successful in pageantry without having an advocacy? What's your take on that?
It's an interesting question, actually. This is my first time joining a pageant. So for me, it's not much about because sometimes advocacies are just drawing plans, right? When you enter like a pageant, you would want to sketch up your advocacy. Sometimes it's not really you, because that's what you want to showcase to the world. But then, I think it's just more believing in something. You don't have to have an advocacy. It's more understanding who you are and then understanding what you can do, not really calling it an advocacy. So that's my take on it.
Mr. Chinatown, candidate number 7, Aaron Hall.
Thank you.
Aaron. One more Aaron.
大家下午好，我叫曾子若。Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cinatown, 25 years old, graduated from Central Solaire University.
Mr. Chinatown, candidate number 8, Carlo. So, can you tell us more about your advocacy before we ask more questions?
My advocacy is building bridges through clean cities. So, it's raising awareness through environmental degradation and teaching 3R to the youth. It's reduce, reuse, recycle. Actually, I'm going to have a small project program this Saturday on Jose Rizal Elementary School. So I want to teach the youth and involve them early on so that they could also contribute for the environment, because this is the only planet we have and we have to take action.
Definitely an environmental steward. There you go. All right, so now, Carlo, we also learned that you had a car accident last year, and you learned a lot of things from that because of the incident. So, what did you learn about it?
After that accident, it was not actually a second life for me. I was actually very happy because I had no injuries at all, no scratches, and it made me think that I should be more confident in life, a better person, and think more better.
Great, that's a great thing to take away from something so tragic, but there you have it. All right, now it's time for the questions from the members of the press.
Carlo, since your advocacy is about clean cities, and since you're from Quezon Province, do you think that the cities in Quezon Province are clean?
Actually, Quezon Province is very big, but my mother is from Tayaba City. Basically, the city is quite clean in a way because they don't have many trash, and so the city has
Right, Mr. Chinatown, candidate number 8, Carlo Tan.
Carlo. Dear Carlo.
Hi guys, good afternoon. I'm Jonathan Chantong, 23 years old from De La Salle University.
Mr. Chinatown, candidate number 9, Jonah. All right, it says here that you greatly value our farmers. Why do you say so? And can you tell us about your advocacy?
My advocacy aims to support young adults experiencing bullying. I was bullied back in grade school. I was one of the smallest people. I was one of the smallest I was one of the smallest students with one of the highest fish scores, so picking on me was an easy target. So I plan to create an online community, a safe haven for bullied victims to speak up, empower themselves with the skills and knowledge to counter bullying.
Can you tell us more about what you said about valuing our farmers?
Valuing our farmers, because I work for Potato Giant. I am a business development officer of Potato Giant. And we went to Benguet to meet with the local farmers to create our local product, which is called Broad Ones. We went there and we realized how farmers had a hard life, and we want to help them cut through the middlemen and to profit the farmers.
Okay, so we also heard that, or this is the last one, you're a co-owner of a rooftop bar in Katipunan. So why did you decide to put up this business?
The rooftop bar in Katipunan was created by my friends and I. We wanted to create a safe environment where people can socialize, bond, meet new people, and to loosen up from their everyday lives.
It's now time to take questions from the media.
Hi, Jonathan. What is your best Chinese trait and what is your best Filipino trait?
I think my best Chinese trait would be being respectful to others, especially to my parents and elders. And for a Filipino trait, what I really like about myself is that I am very positive and very compassionate to others.
Hello, I am Tita Lavinia from Tita's of Fashion Tree. Hi, Jonah. So you mentioned about farmers in Benguet. So you understand how
Dalawa lang
farming
yata.
is very important for us. So what is your opinion about urban farming? It's not something that's being talked about, it's not something that's being highlighted, but it could be something that could benefit a community. What's your opinion on this?
I believe that urban farming is the next level technology after. I believe that urban farming can help farmers grow and be better farmers. Thank you.
Pwede pa?
Hi, Jonah. I'm Amir from Sociology. So you have been experienced bullying. So what would be your advice to those children who experience the same bullying?
My advice to them is to speak up, because back then I was too shy to even tell my parents or my teachers or my friends about it, and I think it took a toll in my life. I have a hard time expressing my thoughts. I think it had lowered my confidence. So I think that I want to tell the people who are being bullied that it is okay to talk about it, to speak up, empower themselves, share their experiences to other people so that other people can help them also.
Thank you.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 9, Jonah Channel.
Here. Here. Jonah, here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephen Lim, 22 years old from De La Salle University.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 10, hi Stephen. Alright, so we learned that you never really envisioned yourself joining a pageant. So my question is, why did you decide to join Mr. and Miss Chinatown Philippines 2019?
I decided to join this competition mainly because to develop myself to be more confident, speaking in front of a lot of people. That's why I'm here.
Can you tell us about your advocacy?
My advocacy is about building bridges through sports. Through sports, I wanted to impart different values and also help those street children roaming around the streets of Manila.
Alright, so we are in for a treat because it says here that you used to sing Chinese songs when you were a kid, so can you sing one for us?
I used to listen to F4. I used to sing it when I was a kid.
Oh, baby, 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 baby. I don't really sing.
Thank you so much, Steven. All right, now let's take some questions from the members of the press.
Hi, Stephen.
Hello, Tito Lawrence.
Stephen, I learned even before the press presentation many weeks ago that it took the organizers years to convince you to finally join Mr. and Miss Chinatown. Why do you think that 2019 is the right time for you to join?
2019 is the year that I graduated from DLSU, so I think it's the perfect time for me to join this wonderful competition. Thank you.
Here you have Mr. Chinatown candidate number 10. Thank you so much, Stephen Lim.
Hey, here, Stephen. Stephen. Here, Stephen. Bumalik ko dapat. Stephen, kasama.
大家下午好，我叫吉纯，今年63岁。Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jason Solaire, 22 years old from the University of Cinatown.
Hello, Jason, our Mr. Chinatown candidate number 11. Now, can you tell us, Jason, about your advocacy?
Actually, so as a medical student, I've been immersed in different medical missions where we cater to the impoverished communities. So these communities are the poorest of the poor, the marginalized sector. They cannot afford decent healthcare services, let alone seek medical treatment or have checkups. This led me towards my advocacy, which focuses more on health literacy to the impoverished communities, called Project Education. So basically, it's all about educating these families, these communities on primary preventive care, specifically vaccination, basic nutrition, and proper hygiene. That will help them help themselves, help them take care of themselves.
Okay, can you share with us some memorable stories during your medical missions?
One memory that I had in my medical mission that struck me the most is this one nanay. She didn't have the means to afford, she didn't have the means to get a checkup. That's why she self-diagnosed. And she was pregnant at the time. So what she drank was antibiotics, which was very dangerous for her child. And she ended up losing that child.
All right, so Jason is actually a medical student from the University of Santo Tomas with a degree in physical therapy. What made you decide to take that course?
Back then, my sister was also a doctor. The head of her batch, her valedictorian, was a physical therapy. So that's why I decided to pursue physical therapy, actually. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Jason. Now, members of the press, do you have any questions?
Hi, I'm Adam Hinata from Stash Factor. I just want to ask, since you're a medical student, I want to ask your opinion on our healthcare. As to, do you think access to healthcare should be a right or a privilege?
I believe that our healthcare system here in the Philippines has definitely a lot to improve on. And we're starting with a bill, with a law, that Universal Healthcare Act. This is a step towards the right direction in improving our healthcare system. We have a lot of things to work on, but I think with the right mindset and with the right heart and compassion towards the Filipino people, I believe that we're on the right direction.
Jason, decades back, students who take up medicine, they have the mindset that they are taking medicine because they want to be rich someday. How does the millennial medical student think right now?
Personally, in my own experience, as a medical student, you won't last in medicine school if you're only thinking about the body. Because it's so hard. There's a lot of things to work on. That's why you have to have compassion for them. You have to look around, be aware with the Filipino people, and see the differences and how much every doctor is needed here in the Philippines. This became my passion, and this became my push in order to pursue medicine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chinatown. Candidate number 11, Jason Salcedo.
Jason here.
Good evening, ladies
下午好，我叫蔡仲阳. My name is Michael Jungyang Chua. I'm 25 years old, graduated from batch 2015, De La Salle University.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 12. Hello, Michael. All right, so can you tell us about your advocacy coming into this pageant?
Okay, my advocacy is about building bridges to food. Food was a storyteller to me growing up, given the extraordinary privilege to grow up in Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Food was a storyteller to my culture. My mission is to bring people to eat right, and my vision is actually everybody's home cook.
We learned that you can also speak 5 languages. Can you tell us more about this? What are these languages?
Oh yeah, fun fact, I actually learned my Bahasa Melayu by eating food. So everything I know about Malay is counting, ordering food, and actually talking about food, like takeouts and stuff. I also speak Cantonese, Mandarin, English, and Tagalog.
Impressive. All right. So now it's time for us to take questions from the members of the press. Do you have any questions for Michael?
Hi, since you also love food, I also want to ask, if you could describe yourself as a fruit, what would it be?
I would be a dragon fruit. Very hard on the outside, soft on the inside. Colorful when you slice it, and brings more joy when you eat it.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 12. Thank you so much, Michael Chua.
Michael here. Here. Michael here, one more. Michael.
Everybody, my name is Jerickson. I'm 20 years old from the South College of St. Benil.
Mr. Chinatown candidate number 13, Jerickson Malto. Jerickson, can you tell us about your advocacy?
My advocacy is all about urban farming, because I want to be urban farming thing. Also, farming is farming kasi alam mo sa ang farming kasi nawawala na sila ng pag-interest sa pag-farm. Kaya gusto ko lang din sana i-share sa kanila yung two kinds of farming system, which is hydroponics and aquaponics. At sa ganun, siguro pag natutunan nila yun, the Philippines will be a better place to live in, and it will be sustainable, and most especially yung economy ng Philippines ay buunlad.
Great advocacy. Now we also heard that you are a musician as well. So what are the instruments that you can play? And can you give us another treat, a song maybe?
I play the piano, pero last year na ako nagsimula. So since natabo ko niya, kanta tayo ng Frank Sinatra. Ano yung look tonight? Chorus lang. Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, and I will feel a little low, just thinking of you, in the way you look tonight.
Mr. Chinatown, number 13, Jerickson Malto.
Questions from the press?
Hello, again, this is Tita Lavinia from Tita sa Pageantry. I asked one of your co-candidates about urban farming earlier, and now that you're advocating urban planning, he did say that it's the next level when it comes to farming. Have you done something tangible, and how do you propose to really implement urban planning, especially in smaller communities? Is this just an idea, or is this something that you're really active in doing?
I was planning to make my own hydroponic system, pero kasi sa ngayon, student pa lang ako, kaya hindi pa ako nakakapag-provide ng financial investment for my hydroponic system. Pero malaking project yan. Sa tingin ko pag na-implement yan, kasi sa tingin ko magiging madali at mas maganda ang agriculture ng Philippines.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chinatown candidate number 13, Jerickson Malto.
Jerickson here. Here. Jerickson. Here. To your right, to your left.
And now, members of the press, once again, let us welcome your Mr. Chinatown Philippines 2019 candidates. Another round of applause for our gents. Good job, everyone. All right, and of course, it is now time to meet our Miss Chinatown Philippines 2019 candidates.
Patas na ng konti.
大家下午好，我叫陈思婷，今年20岁。Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raisa Tan, 21 years old, a graduate of the University of Santa Cruz.
Miss Chinatown candidate number 1, hi Raisa. So it says here that you have 2 pageant titles. Now, what are those?
So I was actually part of Little Miss Chinatown back in 2007. And
Hindi na ko lang.
during college, I
Tinano ko
also
lang.
joined
Tinandaan ko lang.
Fashion Youth Ambassadors. So I won those 2 titles.
Lahat malalagay.
Fun fact, we also learned, Raisa, that you are a sentimental person and you keep even small souvenirs. Now, can you tell us more about that?
For every event that I have, I always like keeping something small. And one that's very important to me is, like, I have a blanket that I used when I was a little kid, and until now I still sleep with it. So yeah.
Now, members of the press, we now open the floor for questions.
Hi, Raisa. Being a Chinoy, do you ever feel displaced or like you're lost with like you're lost in the middle of 2 cultures?
I mean, sometimes, yeah, because I feel like people are gonna expect me to choose a side, but then here in the Philippines, I think that the Filipinos and the Chinese both have really good relationships with each other. So I don't really find it, bothersome. So yeah.
Now, but before we let you go, can you share to us your advocacy for this pageant?
Okay, so my advocacy is called Likha, and it's something that's very close to my heart, which stems from me going to several outreaches both inside and outside of school. And through these outreaches, I discovered somehow that the Filipinos have this stereotype against the Chinese and also to us Chinoys that they think that we are at a higher level than them. And I want to change the stereotype because we are all Filipinos by heart. We both live in the Philippines. It's our home. So I think we're all equals. So with Nika, I wish to bridge these 2 cultures, these 2 communities together, to bring them closer together through cross-culture sharing and learning with each other through the arts, which I am passionate about. And through this advocacy, I hope that they can bring something that they can use for a lifetime, because I think it's better to teach a man how to fish than to give them fish.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown candidate number 1, Raisa Tan.
Raisa here. Raisa. Raisa. How's your microphone, Raisa?
嗨，大家好，我叫郑安菊。My name is Sophie Zhen. I'm 23 years old from the La Salle College of St. Benilde.
Miss Chinatown candidate number 2, Sophie. So hi. So we heard that you are a cosplayer now. Can you tell us more about these and what is your favorite cosplay costume?
My favorite cosplay costume is Love Live, but right now they're not that popular anymore. I like cosplay because I can put myself into a different characters, which is so different from what my life is right now. It's really fun and interesting.
Now, having said this, can you share to us your advocacy?
My advocacy, Eat Right Every Day, is all about to inspire everyone to make the right choice on food. In the Philippines, sickness such as UTI, diabetes, and hypertension are prone now because our bad habit and the bad choice on food. And I would like to be a role model and to inspire everyone to make the right choice on food and live healthy. I would also love to share the Chinese style of eating healthy to the Filipinos.
Now we open the floor for questions from our media partners.
Sophie, hello. Sophie, I have observed you from the time that the pageant started and now. And how much have you changed since then?
I think I'm still myself. I'm just now more confident and more open, and just that I'm more comfortable to deal with these pageants right now.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown candidate number 2, Sophie.
Sophie here. Here.
Here.
Sophie. Sophie to you.
Here.
Dito.
Here. Ayaw niya mag-here.
您好，我是蔡仁仁，今年21岁，毕业于雅典高大学。Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claudine Marie Chua. I'm 21 years old and I graduated from the Ateneo de Manila University.
Miss Chinatown candidate number 3, Claudine Chua. Hi, Claudine. So we learned that you have an interesting advocacy. So can you share to us your advocacy, please?
Hi, so actually my advocacy revolves around attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And having ADHD means you struggle with either inattention or struggle to stay still. And I've had this since I was young. So this is why it's my advocacy, because a life of experiences, a life worth of experiences have taught me that without the guidance and support of family and friends, we would not be able to grow to our first potential. And I would hate to see children and adults of the Filipino Chinese community be stunted and stop from reaching their full potential because they don't have the same guidance that I did.
Okay, so what would you say to a person who has an ADHD now, and how can you help him or her overcome this problem?
Definitely seek help. Ask for help from your families and friends, but also read about it on your own time. ADHD is more about learning about yourself as well and learning how to cope with it. And I think if you have that, you'll be able to stand on your own 2 feet.
And now we open the questions from our media partners. Any questions for Claudine?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that is it. Candidate number 3, Claudine Chua.
Claudine here. Claudine here. Now, look here.
My name is Kyra Mong, 19 years old, an accounting student in the University of Cinatown.
Okay, candidate number 4, Kyra Wong. So, can you share to us your advocacy for this pageant?
So my advocacy is building bridges through social entrepreneurship. It's basically doing business, but it's not focused on gaining economic freedom, but on creating a positive impact towards the lives of many people in the environment.
So I believe that you were also present in the Manila Bay cleanup drive. So can you tell us more about the experience and what was the most memorable part of that overall cleanup drive?
The most memorable part of that drive is being able to collaborate with different people to create something that can improve the environment. Maybe not for the long term, but I was able to be part of something that's not around the four walls of my classroom. Yeah, going out and
All right, now we open the floor for our questions.
Hi, Kyra. Maraming Chinoys ang nakatira sa Manila City. And going to help Mayor Isko Moreno?
Maybe I can help the mayor by encouraging my fellow youth to do the same, to make an effort, even little ones. It will create a ripple effect. It will inspire others to do the same, to make a move towards something bigger, towards the environment.
Thank you so much, candidate number 4, Kyra Wong.
Kyra here. Kyra. Forward.
Hi，大家好，我叫曾依婷，今年23岁。Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Judel Merica Chantan, 23 years old, a graduate of De La Salle University.
Miss Chinatown, candidate number 5, Jidel. Hi, Jidel. So I learned that you joined the Star Magic workshop. So how was the experience, and what was the most memorable part of that workshop?
Actually, I joined it when I was a kid. I enjoy a lot of workshops because I get to meet different people. Fun fact, I was batchmates with my Miles Ocampo, I'm sorry. Miles Ocampo rather, with through acting workshop in Star Magic. And I also enjoy different acting workshops, just like in JRP before.
Right, so having said this, can you share to us your advocacy for this pageant?
My advocacy is actually building bridges to financial literacy. I believe the importance of knowing and understanding the basic foundation of financial management so that we would be able to learn how to overcome financial challenges and eventually achieve our financial goals.
And now we open the floor for our media partners. Any questions for Jidel?
Hi, Adele. Yes. Do you think a lot of Filipinos are financially literate?
No, actually, I believe a lot of people, Filipino or Chinoy rather, were not given the enough education towards the background of financial literacy. So I believe with my small action, with my advocacy, actually advocacy is Project Advent, it's advocacy education. I want to teach the youth or the millennials regarding financial literacy so that nowadays we have a lot of people who incur debt, so I don't want them to incur debt at a very young age.
There you have it, Miss Chinatown, candidate number 5, Jidel Chantan.
Jidel here.
Tansiahao. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joanna Bolatan. I am 24 years old from the University of Santo Tomas.
Okay, candidate number 6, Paula Tan. So we heard that what happens here, and it says in our notes that it deals with your advocacy. So can you share to us your advocacy?
My advocacy is entitled Hashtag Her Story, which is a Chinese-Filipino volunteer group that aims to empower a woman holistically. And how do I plan to do that? I have 3 ways. First, I want to use my medical background in order to conduct medical missions. Second is donation drives. I plan to collect disused cosmetics, toiletries, and package it into self-love kits in order to help these women have a more positive self-image. And lastly, I want to have social media awareness campaigns because we all know that there is a culture of silence towards violence against women. I hope to create a ripple effect wherein we can empower one woman at a time, and my minor efforts will create a major impact in our society. Thank you.
All right, Paula, after hearing your answer, I believe that you have some experience with pageants, and as I've seen here, you are a beauty pageant title holder in Cavite. So, what did you do after winning the crown?
Well, I realized that being a beauty queen is not all about the crown, it's a responsibility. So what I did during my reign is I get to do talks, I get to do personality development workshops, and I help these women, these young kids to explore their strengths and to inspire them to never settle for their comfort zones, that they have to spread their wings and fly and dream as high as they can. Thank you.
And now we open the floor for questions.
Paula, why is it so important for you to become a beauty queen?
Well, my mom is a beauty queen too, and I really idolize her. And growing up, I saw different beauty queens like Pia Wurtzbach, like Katrina Gray. And these beautiful women are not just beautiful faces. They use their voice, they use their mind to inspire other people to create a positive impact. And I want to have this legacy too. That's why I really idolize them, and I'm into pageantry right now.
There you have it, Miss Chinatown candidate number 6, Paula Tan.
Paula here. Paula here.
Katya How. I am Maria Lorraine Cho, 19 years old, currently studying at Bulacan State University.
Candidate number 7, Lorraine. So we've heard that you are into visual and performing arts. And is this any part of your advocacy?
Yeah, my advocacy is, my advocacy really focuses on performing arts because growing up, I have been exposed to a lot of performers. My father was a dancer and a theater actor. My mom has a really beautiful voice, and I have an uncle who has a dance group when he was younger. So yeah, and my school in high school was very active in conducting a lot of activities that showcases the talents of the students, our talents as a students. And I think my school in high school influenced me a lot in discovering my passion for performing arts. Yeah.
Now, Lorraine, having said this, how will you inspire the young Chinoy kids to step into the limelight and try out their luck in showbiz or performing arts?
Well, probably I will tell them my personal story. I have been told a lot of times when I was younger that I don't have any talent. I have been told I can't dance, that my feet are both left, and I can't sing. I don't have any talent, but I didn't listen to them. I decided to know myself, to discover myself more, because at the end of the day, ako lang yung nakakakilala sa sarili ko, and I don't want anybody else to tell me who I am and what I can do for myself.
And now we open the floor for questions.
Ako dito.
Lorraine, since we come from the same province, I might as well ask you this. I made a formal poll of all my readers and they say you're one of the prettiest. Do you think you have what it takes to become the next Miss Chinatown? And what is it that will make you win?
So, I am the youngest in the competition, and I believe that my age doesn't have to do with my capabilities, my strengths, and my talents, because I have grown into a strong, confident, and competent woman that I am today because of my experiences and because of my dedication and passion for what I want to do and what I want to accomplish in life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown candidate number 7, Lorraine Chong.
Lorraine here. One more Lorraine. Oh, I'm here.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. My name is Amara Wee. I'm 24 years old and I studied in De La Salle University, Manila.
Candidate number 8, Amara. So, I've heard that you are a basketball player.
Yes.
And why did you choose this sport, and can you relate this with your advocacy?
Well, I chose this sport because I remember back when I was like, I think in 7, I played with boys all over our village. So when I went to school, I realized that I had the skills, and I think that I really enjoyed basketball. It was one of my first true love, and relating it to my advocacy, I think since basketball is a sport that like puts everyone together, I think that since my advocacy is for people with disabilities, focusing on the hearing impaired, I think that if we just put our time together to play with them, I think that we can have like a very, very good community together.
So your advocacy is for the hearing impaired people. So what made you choose this advocacy? Do you have any personal experience any friends?
Actually, back in 2002, my family started an NGO which is called Think Center for the Deaf. So since I was 7 years old, I've been exposed to this community, and I think that I saw that aside from like them having a disability, they're able to accomplish a lot of things, and I want everyone to know, especially like all of the people, that despite their disability, it's okay, and they can do the same things that we can do.
Right now we open the floor for questions.
Hi, Amara. Hello. Kung tatanungin ka ni President Duterte, sabihin niya sa'yo, Amara, kung may ipapayo ka sa akin na like anything about basketball, moving basketball, that I can use to deal with a maritime conflict between China and the Philippines.
I think what advice I can give our President Duterte is sometimes our shots, they don't always like go inside, right? But that doesn't mean we should just give up. Same with like China, all of their shots, it doesn't mean that it's always gonna come in. And sometimes even though there are two opposing teams, they can still be united even though one may seem like the inferior one or whatever. It still depends on like how they talk to each other and how they connect.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown candidate number 8, Amara Uy.
Amara here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Raisin Chua, 20 years old, from the University of Santo Tomas.
Candidate number 9, Raisin Chua. Hello. Hi. So it says here that you experienced bullying before, so that's why your advocacy is about Stop Bullying campaign. So can you tell us more about it?
Actually, I've been bullied when I was in elementary and high school, and so that became my reason to join this pageant. But my advocacy for this pageant is to promote the Chinoy culture through the revival of Hokkien. Because I observe personally, the youth like us don't know how to speak Hokkien, and if we know, we only know the basics. And that is why we can communicate to our elder Chinoys.
Alright, this problem is very true in our community. So if ever you win Miss Chinatown, what ways can you promote this language to our young kids there?
So implementing this project would be really a big task for me. So I'd like to partner up with some of our Chinoy organizations like Kaisa para sa Kaunlaran, So Asian Comics, and Chinoy TV and other Chinoy organizations. So we can together put up free Hokkien workshops, free Hokkien interactive speaking meetings, animated cartoons for the kids, tutorial videos for the for 25 years and above.
Alright, so now we open the floor for questions.
In these troubled times between nations, what is the most powerful Chinese word and what is the most powerful Filipino word? In these troubled times between nations, what is the most powerful Chinese word and what is the most powerful Filipino word?
I believe that the most powerful Chinese or Filipino word is unity or pagkakaisa. In these troubled times, we really need to be united because there are already a lot of troubles happening around us. And so if magkakagulo pa po tayo at hindi po tayo magkakaisa, ay lalong maguguluhan yung buong mundo. At lalo po magkakaroon ng chaos sa buong mundo.
The most powerful Chinese word?
Chinese. I'm not sure. Wala siyang idea.
I believe the most powerful Chinese word is I, which is love. Because for us to be united as Filipinos, or for us to be united in this world, we need first to love each other and understand the differences between each other.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown candidate number 9, Raisin Chua.
Drizzling.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nina Tylee. I am 25 years old, a proud alumni of Immaculate Conception Academy and University of Santo Tomas.
Alright, candidate number 10, Nina Lee. Okay, so your advocacy is quite interesting, so can you share to us?
Okay, my advocacy actually is hashtag building bridges through growing passion. So what does this mean? I hope to help empower people to improve their quality of living through exploration of what they're truly passionate about. Because I believe you should pursue only two things, which is what you excel at and what you are passionate about. And I hope I could help empower more people through doing different immersion trips, exposures, giving them more opportunities to express themselves and to reveal and know more about themselves.
Alright, fun fact about Nina, she is also a mountaineer. So why did you choose this extreme sport as a hobby?
Okay, I like seeing views. I believe there's so much to see in life. And I hope that through nature, we could be closer to one another, closer to yourself, and closer to God. So this is why I believe that everyone should go mountaineering.
Now we open the floor for questions.
Hello, Nina. My name is from Titas of Fashion. Hi. Hello. I would like to ask you, which Chinese trait do you think Filipinos should practice more and vice versa?
What Chinese trait should the
Filipinos in general practice more or be more on?
So let's start with what Filipino trait Chinese should practice more. And I believe Chinese should practice more empathy. I know that there's always a lot of pressure with Chinese parents, and with empathy, it will allow us to connect better and to understand one another better. And as for a Chinese trait that Filipinos should practice more, I believe it is the value of family. I know many Chinese families that no matter how hard it gets, they're still together. They still know that they're a family and they won't ever be separated or in this world from one another.
Hi Nina, I'm Adam from Sash Factor. Since you talked about empowerment, I would just like to ask you, how can you empower people, I mean young Chinese people who are being subject to an arranged marriage?
I believe arranged marriages are very traditional. So right now, having a more globalized community, a more open-minded community, I believe that I can empower them through learning from one another, through connecting, through understanding one another from someone else's point of view, so that they won't go through with arranged marriages.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown, candidate number 10, Nina Lee.
Nina here. So Nina here. Here.
My name is Chelsea Ong, 25 years old, and I graduated from the Academy of the Manila University.
Miss Chinatown, candidate number 11, Chelsea Ong. Hi. So this is very interesting because I've heard that you are a visual artist. Okay, so can you tell us more about it?
I'm actually a lot of things. I took fashion design and interior, and now I'm working as an active artist. I do believe that design can be applied into so many fields of work, and now I am applying it to my own business. Yes, and like combining my entrepreneurship and my passion is such a wonderful thing.
Now, having said your passion for the arts and design, what is your advocacy for this pageant?
My advocacy is mental health awareness because one thing recover from my mental illness personally is art. And it's such a great thing because I have such supportive parents who took me, took my mental illness to stride and really helped me recover and I guess go through society, like go back, reconnect into society. And that's one thing that I want to do because my plan is to create an app to connect people with mental illness to doctors, professionals, and also the community that can host activities that can create connections and to be able to go back, I guess, to rejoin society, like people with mental illness who are always like ostracized.
Friends from the media, do you have any questions for Chelsea?
Hi, Chelsea.
Hi.
I'm Christina from Push.
Yes.
I would like to ask, how old are you again?
I'm 25 years old.
25. Do you think it's a form of mental torture for millennials na, you know, when they're ghosted or when they have and have you ever been ghosted?
I have been ghosted. I think it's because I put so much of myself into love and relationships and all that. Because I try to be as sincere as possible. And yes, it could be some form of mental torture, if you can say, but I believe that you put yourself through the fires and you come out stronger. And that's one of the things that I'm proud of being because I still rose up from that experience. And now I feel like I can still open up. I'm not afraid to open up to other people.
Thank you so much, Miss Chinatown candidate number 11, Chelsea Ong.
Chelsea here. Here. Chelsea, one more.
大家下午好，我叫杨琛琛，今年21岁。My name is Feline Yong, 21, and I'm from De La Salle University, Manila.
All right, candidate number 12, Feline. So, as I've seen here that you love eating and it makes you travel to different places. So, can you tell us more about it?
So, growing up in a conservative family, our family focuses on food. We appreciate and love food so much. That is why I think that food is the way how our family is bonded. So I think that food unites us together. That is why my family and I usually travel a lot, including 2 provinces, in order for us just to appreciate the food and the environment.
Alright, so having said this, can you relate this to your advocacy for this pageant?
So my advocacy in this pageant is about the financial literacy of young students. So this basically talks about the importance of being financially aware for young students. So in connection with my, as me as a foodie, I think that the young students should be financially aware in order for them to create a better future and like me to appreciate food and appreciate life as well.
So, we got any questions from our media partners?
Hello, Feline. You have a very unusual name, so it's easy actually to remember. I am Tita Lavinia from Titas of Tragedy, and since you mentioned about growing up in a conservative family, I would like to ask you, Asians are generally more conservative than our Western counterparts. In this age of social media and technology, do you think that this is an advantage or is this a hindrance in moving forward through globalization?
Personally, I think that this is an advantage for us since we're very conservative. So we tend to express our emotions through social media, and it helps us to be socialized with people and to unite with people and have connections with them. Thank you.
Okay.
There you have it, Miss Chinatown candidate number 12, Feline Yong.
Feline here.
Feline! Wala akong kuha.
Balik lang.
Clear, Feline.
Feline, tayo dito.
Talagang wala akong picture sa kanya.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we would like to welcome all our candidates of the Miss Chinatown 2019.
Dito na lang.
Before that, of course, Louie, we will welcome back first the female candidates of Miss Chinatown Philippines 2019.